This is EA Sports, a good score out here at Banff Springs.
Par 5's very reachable. There's a chance. That's an absolute beauty. Less confusion, Rich. Just look at the flag. This is a fairly flat piece of fairway we're heading off, and to a green that's very generous.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
A great start.
Here at the par 3 second hole, just about 170 yards. Has this from 170 yards away. Tournament, 72-hole events of 300 thereabouts, but obviously, like so many things in golf, everything has improved.
Yeah, people would scoff at sort of saying 475s would win a US Open or a British Open. It didn't, and it does. But, with equipment, and people have really got into the game, they've worked it out, and they're just plain got better at it. They realise that, stroke play, you can't just swing from the trees, so to speak. You've really got to work your way around and get better. You just can't sort of settle for mediocrity.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, plenty of scoring opportunities in the early portion of this golf course. We're now at a par 5, the third hole, and it's only 528 yards.
You can see why we're going to see a lot of people perhaps being 3 under through the first 3 holes, Rich. This par 5 bending to the right, very reachable. Just keep that tee shot nice and high off the tee. Let it carry as far as possible.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, couldn't have done much better than that, and the eagle is looking very likely now. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. I'm very impressed.
Frank, it's always fun to play a par 3 just like this one.
The ball's going to go further. Obviously, get to tee it up. Should be able to carry that water. That's really the only problem for the player in front. But once again, another good chance for a birdie.
192-yard par 3 fourth. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Cleans that up, win the hole. Frank, when you play Banff, you get some of these wow moments where you stand on the tee and you say, "Ooh, look at
this." Is one. Yeah, this is one of them, Rich. Yeah, the elevation change from tee to green is quite dramatic. Consequently, you're going to have to club down a little, at least 2 clubs shorter than what that yardage says on the card. Does it come down yet? Not only is it straight, it's mega long.
Down, little Sheba, down. Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Now at the 6th hole here at Banff Springs, it's a short par 4, only 373 yards, and the short par 4, Frank, all the rage in golf course architecture these days.
A lot more strategy involved when you've got a hole that you can nearly reach with a tee shot. It's how far back do you leave it, what sort of distance you want that second shot. All those things to compute. Straightforward, a little bit uphill. Basically, it's what you want for your second shot. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. And getting ready for the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. 602-yard par 5 7th hole. Frank, I'm guessing you want to take the big stick out and let it rip here.
Saw Rory McIlroy hit his tee shot here so far. He had an iron in.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
He'll need to be strong with this. Well, he gave us a demonstration today why he's one of the best in the sport. Every green hit in regulation. Wow, I thought he made that. Pretty good effort right there. For the par. Continues to hold that sizable lead on the rest of the field. Now to hole number 8. It's another par 3 with some water. Frank, only 150 yards. This is the shortest hole in the golf course.
But distance control is still very important here. If you get the right distance, you could perhaps aim 10 or 15 feet left of the flag. You're only going to have a 10 or 15 foot putt. So just think of that. Water on the
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that
one. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Now to hole number 9, 501 yards. It's a par 5.
Yeah, we finished with the third par 5 on the front 9. You're just going to come through those sort of chute of marvelous trees that define this fairway. Just avoid the right side. Something down the left side is going to open up the second shot.
Yeah, that's a good drive right there. Got all of it.
Did you hear the sound?
This could be a huge momentum swing here, Frank.
Yeah, one more good swing, and he's going to have an eagle putt coming up. I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but he's well on the cards.
What a shot. Perfectly placed right next to the hole. Just to tap in to finish the hole. Well, he's done it. That's an eagle right there. Tremendous effort. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Oh, he's going to love it. Great putt. So off the long par 3 10th, we are at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4, Frank.
It looks like a straightaway par 4, Rich, but if anything, the hole actually bends to the left, and you really want to follow that natural contour of that. Just sort of draw it off those bunkers on the right, or just simply carry it over the ones on the left. But ideally, down the left side, it avoids that pine tree that's further down.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Frank's second shot here at 11 is pretty short, but it can be tricky.
It can. The various different levels. The highest point on the green is that back left. It does roll down to that right side, and then, of course, there's the front portion in the middle. So you've got to be just cognizant of trying to fly the ball the right distance. But when that flag is in the back left, to err a little on the left side, not such a bad thing.
Continuing to putt with confidence. All right, on to the 12th hole, 442-yard par 4. What do you like about this hole, Frank?
Just a nice par 4 that sort of bends to the player's right. A lot of people will just stand up here, grab the driver. I don't really think you have to do that, Rich. The hole's not overly long. Just something shorter down that left side. You're only going to have a short iron in for your second shot. That's an absolute beauty.
Chance to get it close here. This has really been a good bounce-back round. Slow at the start, now they're picking up some speed. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Trying to make yet another birdie. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Thirteenth hole, par 3, 225 yards and heavily bunkered around that green, Frank.
It is, but that green gets narrower as the hole gets longer. Nothing wrong with hitting the ball sort of the middle part of the green here.
Good looking shot right here. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Not too much and not too little. Perfectly played into the center of the cup. Back here at the par 4 14th, and we are ready to tee off. 442-yard hole, Frank.
It's called a wampum. My Canadian's not that good, so I don't know what that means, but the way I decipher it, another little dog leg to the right with bunkers all over the place. It's sort of in the place where you'd like to hit the tee shot is exactly where that crop of, what is that, 5 bunkers down the left side. So you're going to have to somehow squeeze it just right of that. Very awkward tee shot.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot in there. Easy birdie.
See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. Let's putt for birdie. Oh, yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Frank, looking out here on the 15th hole, this looks like a spot where you could really crank one that you could tell your buddies about.
It's another hole that suits a player that hits the ball right to left. It's no surprise to see why Rory McIlroy plays well around here. Nice, big, high towering draw. It's going to go that extra yardage because of the elevation.
That's in the fairway. Pretty stout second shot here at the par 4 15th. And Frank, what's the right way?
The green is more on that left side of the green. Green does pitch back to the player as well, so it may be a little cutting here for a change.
Had a birdie here yesterday, in there close. Great opportunity for another one. Good putt. Moving on to number 16 now. It's a par 4, 414 yards. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
It's another hole that'll favor a nice sort of high draw off the tee. It'll set up that second shot to a green that has got several different levels on it.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
That is classy.
No chance of going in.
Birdie try again here today. Seems to really have the touch today. Now to the 17th, 374 yards, and Frank, players might be licking their chops here.
They certainly would, Rich. Bunkers left and right, but they can be carried with an aggressive tee shot. It'll set up just a short iron into a green that pitches towards you. So maybe just a little bit underneath the flag with the second shot. And really a chance to have a fast finish.
So it was a conservative play off the tee. What are we looking at now on this approach shot here at 17, Frank?
Well, the reason why you play a conservative tee shot is so that you can go directly at the flag, and that's exactly what you have here. It's just all about yardage.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold. Very bold.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Here we are at the 18th at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5. Frank, did you like to finish a round with a par 5?
Certainly if I could birdie it, that's for sure. And there's a good chance here at 18 you can, but there's bunkers galore. They're all in play for various standards of play. But the reward is if you can pump one down the middle of the fairway there, and then you reduce this par 5 to simply a drive and an iron.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot.
Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my eye.
And it looks like Rory McIlroy from sticking the follow through. Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, in golf, there's nothing quite like the final round of a hotly contested championship, and this one could be a doozy.
And there's nothing quite like that leaderboard I'm looking at right now. We are going to have some amazing golf. This one is going to have to be won.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today it's live final round coverage of the Mountain Shootout. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. The bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round. Great start.
Already teed up here at the second. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I'd say.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
They'll take it. That's a par. Frank, how about the first par 5 on the golf course here at the third? Just a shade under 530 yards. Good birdie opportunity?
Certainly is. There's 3 bunkers just down that left side. Avoid those, and this par 5, very reachable.
Frank, chance to go for the green in 2 here at the third?
There is, but you can also use the terrain, which will kick the ball towards the left. So if you haven't hit the best of tee shots, still land that ball to the right and let it feed on.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable, that never deviated offline. Really solid stroke.
Well, look at this hole, Frank. A par 3, 192 yards. It is beautiful.
It's called Devil's Cauldron, but with that lake, I think that should cool you down, not heat you up. Just keep an eye on that drop of elevation. For every 10 yards, you should reduce it by a club. So it's going to play some 50, 60 feet downhill.
Struck that one pure, about 8 feet away. Beautifully done. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Okay, no problem with that one. Frank, what's the key here at the 5th hole? It's par 4, 424 yards.
The first real stringent tee shot of the day. 3 bunkers, first one not really in play. That third one in the distance, unless you're someone like a Bubba Watson, you should be able to aim at that and not reach it.
Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Well, certainly playable from here. Ball is in the first cut. Not too bad. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's full melody now.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 6th hole, reasonably short at 373 yards, a lot of golfers arrive at a hole like this and they'll think, well, I'm just going to blast it away because it's such a short 4. You think these kinds of holes require a little more thinking?
They certainly do, Rich. If you can't drive it to the front edge of the green, there's no point really trying to hit it through that narrow neck. You can just sort of knock a 3-wood down there, or something that's going to give you a decent yardage where you can at least spin that second shot. If you can guarantee that ball's going to stop when it lands, it's going to be much easier than trying to fashion some sort of pitch and run.
Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Go ahead and do that for birdie. Now to the second par 5 on this opening 9. Frank, this is a pretty long hole, 602 yards.
Well, it's called hoodoo. Do you know what hoodoo means? It means bad luck, actually, so you don't really want to be thinking about that on this tee shot. 602 yards, if you belt one off the tee, well, you might avoid the bad luck.
Beautiful looking shot right here. Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Always like to watch the second shots, Frank, in high-level golf like this to a par 5, and here we are at the 7th.
You get rewarded with distance off the tee for a start. This is a huge green from front to back, rather narrow from side to side, but you're right. A nice towering second shot is certainly going to be well received into this green.
Getting set now over the putt. Chance, and he has it. Beautiful putt. .602-yard par 5 7th hole. Frank, I'm guessing you want to take the big stick out and let it rip here.
Saw Rory McIlroy hit his tee shot here. So far, he had an iron in.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there.
Second shot.
Well done. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. And that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. This one looks right on point. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second nine.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Another one inside of 5 feet. Frank, this is a player in full flight right now.
It looks too easy right now.
On the tee here at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4. Is this a drive you like to hit, Frank?
It certainly is, Rich, but it's a little narrower than what your eye first sees. And the reason why, there's a tree sort of another 40, 50 yards down the right side past that bunker. So if you hog that right side, that tree can become a little bit of a problem for the second shot.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Locked in on the read and the speed. You'll love them, the birdies, and that's another one. Here at the 12th, par 4, 442 yards. Frank, what's ahead?
This one's called Big Boat. Hole's certainly a lot longer than the 10th hole, which is Little Boat. Dog legs to the player's right, a couple of bunkers down the left side. That first bunker on the left shouldn't be too much of a problem to carry. But once again, even though the hole bends to the right, you'd like to be down the opposite side of the fairway, which is the left.
Well, Frank, certainly a chance to make a 3 here, but there's also a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, like a few of the greens on this golf course, if you just miss that target there, the ball has a tendency to run off in a different direction. Anything left of the flag here is liable to run towards the left, could even kick into that bunker.
I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality. Oh, good solid stroke there, no sign of nerves on that.
Heavily bunkered around that green, Frank.
It is, but that green gets narrower as the hole gets longer. Nothing wrong with hitting the ball sort of the middle part of the green here. This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. And that one lands in the first cut, Frank.
Interesting choice coming ahead here. It'll be interesting to see how he reads this lie.
Just in the first cut of rough, not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. He has a 12-footer here. That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey. Drop shot here at the 13th. Has this now for bogey. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. On to the 14th hole now. It's a par 4, 442 yards. And what's the right way to attack here, Frank?
Two choices. Try and squeeze it down the right side, just short of those big bunkers on that right. Either that or carry the bunker complex on the left. A little awkward. Oh, they've had some meat behind it.
Frank, take us down. Give us the player's eye view on this second shot here at 14.
I kind of like a second shot a little lower than normal here. It just seems to shape up to this green. Obviously, you're protecting against going left while you're trying to go directly at the flag. So just something a little lower than normal, I think, would be the go.
This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. That has to feel good. That's a birdie. Well, now the par 4s begin to stretch out a little bit. The 15th here, Frank, is 475 yards.
Certainly want to put your big shoes on here. Nice big slinging draw off the tee might help. Go a little further. It does go downhill considerably, so you get a little bit more run out of the tee shot if you did that. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, I'm reminded of what an old caddy used to say about the great Lanny Watkins when he was on fire. You can't hide the flagstick from that man. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, the 16th hole, 414 yards, par 4, is nicknamed GOAT. Would that be greatest of all time, or is it just because the possibility you could see old Billy out there here in the Canadian Rockies?
I'd like to think it's the greatest of all time. I've never seen a GOAT hit a draw, that's why, and that's what's needed off this tee once again. The first bunker, you should easily be able to carry that, and, well, if you're the greatest of all time, this is a fairway, you'll certainly hit.
Sit down. Get down.
Oh, this is gone.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Trying to make yet another birdie. Continues to putt beautifully. Now to the 17th, 374 yards, and Frank, players might be licking their chops here.
They certainly would, Rich. Bunkers left and right, but they can be carried with an aggressive tee shot. It will set up just a short iron into a green that pitches towards you. So maybe just a little bit underneath the flag with a second shot. And really a chance to have a fast finish.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, I'd say a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
Here we are at the 18th at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5. Frank, did you like to finish a round with a par 5?
Certainly if I could birdie it, that's for sure. And there's a good chance here at 18 you can, but there's bunkers galore. They're all in play for various standards of play. But the reward is if you can pump one down the middle of the fairway there, and then you reduce this par 5 to simply a drive and an iron. Got the measurement out there, Rich. Looks like 290 yards. That was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back? Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
What a great tournament finish. This one is in the books, and look who finished on top of the leaderboard.
Rich, this has to go down as a classic. Our champion was simply on fire, and I'm looking forward now to see how next week pans out.
EA Sports and the PGA of America are proud to present opening round coverage of the PGA Championship. Here it is once again, Whistling Straits in Kohler, Wisconsin. The best golfers from around the world have gathered to compete for the Wanamaker Trophy at the PGA Championship, and it sets up to be another great major. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. And Frank, tell us a little bit about Whistling Straits.
It's a peak dye special, Rich, and the golf course borders Lake Michigan, so you have these wonderful vistas should you choose to look at that. But the course itself is almost like a links course, the way the holes roll around in amongst these sand dunes or bunkers. I've lost count, but the holes themselves are a genuine test, and it will reward a lengthy player. We've seen it's just a great test from the first hole to the 18th.